You're welcome back. Yes, so now let's have that conversation and find out perhaps you do have something at your backyard that you have not been using. So we have the president of Agric and Industrial Entrepreneurs of Nigeria, Mr. Chukwu Nwachukwu, joins us from our Abuja studio. Mr. Nwachukwu, good morning and thank you for your time.
Again.
Mr. Chukwu, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Good morning. Welcome to the studio. So I know you've been at this for a while, trying to promote the fact that every region, every local government has at least one crop to contribute to food security in the country. What's your level of findings now? What's your level, or what's the updates at this time?
Well, you know, in this country, it's known for delay. But what we're trying to do is to aggregate all the necessary stakeholders together. Thus far, we've made tremendous progress. We've been in touch with a development finance institution, has shown a great deal of interest. We're also in touch with the Deposit Money Bank. They showed a lot of interest. So we're moving forward, having aggregated the funds that would be utilized to fund these agropreneurs together. And once we've done that, I believe later on this year it will take off. What is happening in our country is that we create budgets and try to run business-related issues through government funding. It's not going to work. I've told you that before. Government cannot create employment. Employment must be private sector driven.
So in your interaction, you know, with community members, different communities, and all of that, what has been the perception of the individuals in those areas?
Oh, I can't hear you there. Sorry. I lost you there.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, so I was asking of you the reaction of the community members in the different areas, you know, that these crops are domiciled and you're trying to galvanize the support. What has been their perception so far?
Excited. There's excitement. There's serious excitement. Are waiting for this program to take off. We're just trying to put all the indices together. We're going to have a financial model that actually works, you know, and we need to bring this money to them at single-digit rate. We had meetings with a great organization, Development Bank of Nigeria. I think they'll be on board. We're also talking with some other deposit money banks. It's a huge program, which would initially put about 60,000 agropreneurs as a pilot project, meaning that we're going to select 2 states per zone, and then 12 states, average of 20 people, 20 local governments. And if we put 250 people in a cluster, we're looking at 60,000. But at maturity, we're going to have about 1,000 people per local government. And we've emphasized that it is such a massive job creation program. If you put 774 local government, put 1,000 people per local government, we're looking at 774,000 people. And the job creation aspect of it is close to 10 million jobs. And when you look at those food items or the produce, we're looking at creating for local consumption. We're also looking at creating for industrialization, which is a topic you're talking about. We're also looking to create it for export. So the excitement is there. We're just putting together the papers now with our team and some consultants. And then we hope the presidency will be there. It goes to what the president is looking for, which is food security. And you can imagine when we produce all the food in the country, it will reduce the pressure on the naira. And, I think that with that kind of production, exchange rate will stabilize and there'll be food in the country.
So help us to understand or paint the picture of how you hope this will work, and what areas will be involved in the pilot. I'm sure you're not working with the whole 774 local government areas in the pilot stage. So tell us which areas, which crops, and then how exactly you hope it will work.
Okay, the crops, initial crops, there's a gap between, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Chikwe. I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay. If I can get what deduce from what you were saying, the initial crops we're targeting, the initial crops we're targeting will be cassava, it will be tomatoes, it will be maize, it will be the soybean, it will be ginger, it will be wheat. We're looking at crops that can turn over within a 1 year, 1.5 year gestation period. And the crucial part of what we're doing is that we're looking at creating employers of labor, agripreneurs, these are entrepreneurs who would in turn create employment, So when we look at this economy, these are necessary items that we need both for domestic consumption and also to power the industrial takeoff of the comatose industries. There's a lot of industries there. Now, the secondary nature of what we're doing is that we're going to create raw materials for further processing, creating further employment at the secondary level. This program will take off. It's not dependent on government, but government will buy into it. It's dependent on what the development finance institutions, create. And they fully collateralized. The government just made the pronouncement. They put 200 billion into SME. With due respect, that's just money for the boys, as usual. And the people who might be implementing them are just going to be, contracts given mindset, and that never works. It never works. The only intervention agency that the government has created thus far is the National Agricultural Development Fund, which I think it will do, if they partner with the private sector that we're trying to partner with them, then we can advance the prospect of creating that food security and creating employment at the same time. Other than that, they get it right, and I believe they have a good team there. They get it right, and with us, we're going to be able to do it together.
So how do you intend for this to work? Do you approach farmers in these different local government areas? Or do you fund them, or do you work with them? How exactly do you see it working?
Well, that's why we're turning. Can hear you. But if I heard you correctly, asking how we intend for it to work, we're going to create this 774,000 people, or like their target at maturity will be about 1 million people. Okay, those are entrepreneurs. We call them agripreneurs. They become employers of labor, and they will produce for profit. Every business is profit driven. So we are selecting them. They're rushing to us now, to be part of the program. So we'll create microcredit. It's a process of microcredit delivery, where we create microcredit for each person. Each person becomes his own obligor. So he knows he's producing for profit. A few years ago, when I consulted for a state government, Abia state government, on a 1 billion naira fund, I subjected them to a process of entrepreneurial training. And very funny though, Each time I ask them during the training, how many of you here are businessmen and women? Nobody raised his hand. Then I'll ask them, how many of you are farmers? And everybody will raise their hands. So the underlying factor, which I'm telling you now, which I'm telling them too, which I told them, was that all of you are businessmen and women whose business is farming. So you not take like 1 million people, and you put through the value chain, they have up to maybe 10 people plus themselves. We're creating almost 10 million jobs. And each of these people being employed are paid wages. When you have paid somebody wages, the effect of wage is that it triggers a demand in the economy. A demand in the economy must trigger consequential supply. And that is the macro mix that will create wealth in the economy. So we're creating food, we're creating employment, and we're creating the source for foreign exchange earnings.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Chukwuachukwu, President.
And by the way, you know that we're going to be partnering with you, so you'll be part of. We're proposing right now a national seminar.
Okay,
for all those people to come in.
You're sending your proposal on air. Thank you so much. Acknowledge, Mr. Wachiku. Thank you so much. President of Agric and Industrial Entrepreneurs of Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Ini.